Hello and welcome, Corhavenettes and Corhavenites. Exelyze here. Today we're going to be diving headfirst into the chaos of Saltbringers Knool Camp. By invitation of Saltbringers' own Sir Spet, we're about to tackle Knools in a whole different way. Nothing like those tight corridors in the UnderAchievers Knool Camp. This battlefield is going to be huge and wide open, so sharpen your broad axes and strap your armor. We're going to unleash some player versus Knool fury. In today's video, we're going to be doing each of the Knools separately, so we're going to have a section for each type of Knool. If you're interested in those, just use the time skip below and jump to that type of Knool, learn how to do them individually. If you're not doing big Knool camps, or if you're just clearing Knools in the wild, the mechanics are going to work. It has been a while that we made this video. This was 2024, and this video is still recorded on an old Goldland map, but the mechanics are pretty much the same. The Knool camps have been copy-pasted a little bit. There's like bigger Knool camps, but the spots are the same. So we're going to be doing each type of Knool damage and weapons attacks and how to dodge them and what strategies, and those are going to be applicable as well. Before we dive into it, let's just discuss the best skills and stats that you need. So healing is a must, so having 100 healing would be awesome. At least 30 healing when you start doing them really helps, like if you get a bit of damage here and there. The best PvP build to do it is definitely the Assaulter, Vanguard and Berserker line, especially because of the armor. That is the best armor in the game. If you do take a few hits, it will spare you having some damage done to you. It also, the poisons over the witches will do less. Zweihanders and Flammies are definitely good. When you start doing some Knool camps, so with 60 Salter you can already do some damage. The Chieftain Sword is pretty awesome. It's one of the highest weapon damages you can have, and basically that when it drops from Chieftains, so you have to kill Chieftains to do it. The Sledgehammer is one of the bread and butter ones for the blunt type damage to certain types of Knools. We're gonna go check which ones those are. The Maul is also quite good. So with the Maul, you basically have the Chieftain's Knool Bear Axe as well, just as a throwaway. It doesn't sell for much, so you might as well use it. The Maul is the bread and butter, but you need 60 strength to use it. But it's really good for the Knool Bears, for example. The Broad Axe is another bread and butter weapon. We're going to see it a bit. Today we're going to be using a lot of the Chieftain Sword, but the Broad Axe is really good versus the Chieftains. We're going to check that in a second. With regards to stats, you need at least 50 to 60 strength. Agility is variable. Some people play with 10 agility, some people play with 30. It just makes you a little bit faster, and it will allow you to basically weave in and out of the attacks a little bit more. Constitution-wise, you need at least 40. Maybe 60, depends on which build you're playing. If you don't have the agility, you'll have it in Constitution, just to survive a little bit longer. And then the willpower just to carry enough stuff. In this case I have 10, but we're going to show you what build I have currently in Arden, and that will carry you a little bit more. There are other options to do it with weapons. So for example, some of the Spearman weapons, the Boar Spear for example, or some of the pikes, there is some ways to glitch through that. Be sure to check out our older Knool camp videos, so check out the PvKnool series from Goldland that we also have in the channel, because we show you how to do some with shooting, some with bow and arrows, some with the long pike or medium pike, but those are a little bit more tricky. Today we're going to be focusing on the optimal way to do it, and optimal way to do it is depending on damage type. So if you're using bow and arrow, make sure to use the correct types of arrows, the dull arrows, the normal arrows, even the broadhead arrows that you have from Ranger. Those are, depending on which type of Knools you're going to be fighting, we're going to tell you each of the types that the damage the Knools are weak to, and as we look into that, we'll explain what we should be using. Stones are always a lifesaver. I did a lot of stuff with stones in the previous videos. Do check it out. It's just annoying sometimes to get stones, but do check it out there. With regards to the stats in Arden, so for example here I also have the healing, but in Arden I went the 90-90-60 line. Because of the hybrid leveling system, it's a little bit tricky to get the 90 Berserker, but let's put that to the side for now. With regards to strength, you really want that 60 strength to use the Maul, the 28 agility, so it's a little bit more of a mix, and then I have 15 willpower. 15-20 willpower will allow you to do more ones without having to basically go to the trade post to put stuff because you're full, right? So that 30 willpower was going to give you something like 130 and without being overburdened, and you know that is a little bit easier to carry more stuff and, you know, make more runs. I really want to thank our good Sir Spet, that you can see here in tier 2 armor. That's going to increase a bit of his damage and a bit more resistance to poison. I'm going to be doing it naked with the monk's outfit, but I wanted to thank him for allowing us this opportunity. We're going to be just checking the center and the right-hand side of the Knool Camp here. As you can see, this Knool Camp is, this was also after a few clears, but this Knool Camp has more ups and downs, like the elevation terrain is completely different than what I'm used to, the complete flat one in UnderAchievers base. There are some goods and bads. One of the bads is that it's really hard to fight some of the Knools inside of here, especially because in sometimes you can hear your agro Knools from other spots and all of that. But in this Knool Camp, the good thing is that you can basically bring everything out. So while in the PvP in the UnderAchievers base, we basically had to do the Knools in the certain zones and in those corridors. Here we can just pull them all out, but it takes a little bit more coordination. It takes a bit more learning how to pull them. We're later on in the video, we're gonna check that, but let's dive into the moles. So these are called the miners, or the Knool moles. These gentlemen are they have two types of attacks. So that right handle hit, that is soft damage, and then they have the big overhead. They do try to burrow, so be sure that whenever they get to 10-15% HP, they try to burrow. Make sure you get them, otherwise they'll reset full HP on the spot that you that they spawn, the spawn point. We're going to be looking at a couple of these just so for you to get the flow. That overhead attack is the charging, and you really want to avoid it. This one, with the pickaxe, that you really want to avoid. All the other attacks are blunt; they just will knock you down. But the pickaxe one is definitely tricky, so be sure that you backpedal and take swings. They're weak to slashing and piercing, so broad axes, Knool Bear axes, Flambirds, Zweihanders, Boar Spears, all of that is good. You can see here that I'm pulling a lot of stuff out in this case. We're just going to be handling one of the Knool moles here. The trick is always to backstep a little bit when he attacks, and then go in for the hit when he does. So backstep, hit, backstep, hit. It's simple. You'll dodge both attacks, both of the attacks of the Knool. The pickaxe sometimes hurts. It's not going to kill with one hit. You can take a few, but it's going to start healing you down a little bit. So be sure to check that out. The preventing burrowing is really important, because otherwise you're just wasting time. Like, all the damage you do to it, you basically have to redo it. With 2-3 people, you can clear one of these in 10 seconds, 15 seconds. If all of you are use a triangle to attack so you don't hit each other, that's definitely recommended. Let's dive into the witches. So witches have a sickle, and they have poison stick bombs. They have a basic attack with a sickle that you're gonna see right to left from your side, left to right on yours. You have weak poison bombs. These are the ones that she spams, and then you have the special attack with a dance charge that she does. So the tactic is to either use the obstacles, we're going to check in a second, or to strafe right and left for the bombs. So if you're not in melee range, she's going to be throwing bombs at you all the time. So you can strafe right and left when she throws, and you just go in when she is in cooldown of throwing it. So we can see Sir Spet here, he's dancing right and left, and the witch is just whiffing her attacks. She is going to charge her special now. You just go in, 3-4 attacks. This special attack that she has after this does a lot of damage, like 45 to 50 HP, I have a feeling. So, be sure to avoid it. I've died to witches a lot more than bears and chieftains and stuff like that, so I always stay safe on when she does those attacks. In this case, if you weave in and out of the attacks, we're going to in a second how to do that. This static of strafing right and left was new to us, because in our Knool Camp we didn't have the space to do so. So we're going to be showing you how you can handle witches if you're, for example, on your own, or if you have some terrain advantages to your side. So you bait the witch out. Some witches, depending on where the spawn point is, can be baited to certain distances. So this was here on the right hand side of the Knool Camp. You can bait them out by hugging the wall. They will come out on their own. You can use line of sight to bait them in. So, for example, right now she's popping out. She's looking for us. She has aggro on Sir Spet there on the screen, as you can see with the Saltbringer stabard. She's starting the special attack right away. There is no rhyme or reason. Sometimes she does a special attack, throws a bomb, does another special attack. Sometimes she throws 10 bombs. So there is no way to predict it. There is no pattern. So just bait her with line of sight, and then you can dance right and left, like we were saying before. As soon as that is sorted, our good Sir Borg is going to start swinging at her. Don't forget, with all Knool types, whenever you hit something like one of the Knools, be it a stone, being it a weapon, they have a chance to aggro you. There is no aggro tables, there is no rhyme or reason to explain some of those aggros. So as soon as you hit something, be sure that you have to have the methods to react to if they change the aggro immediately. That's one of the things you really want to be doing with Knools. That's definitely recommended. So you see here, Borg is using the tree to completely prevent getting attacks. You see the sticky bombs getting stuck there, but I'm attacking now, so she can switch to me at any point. In this case, I'm just gonna whiff through her. If you have 2 mates, this is enough. We're just trying to demonstrate all the attacks types she has, and she's dead. The next witch, we basically are going to show you two other spots. So in this is the left hand side. Those don't come to the same trees as we had before, but sometimes we have to fight witches in the open, and this we're going to simulate that. We're going to take some damage here because we have two witches with us. So Spet has one, I have the other. So basically here they are both still on Borgy. So as soon as they both switch to us, me and Sir Spet, we're going to start whacking at them. So both of them start with the special attack. Don't forget to dodge that. Spet took that one to the face. It's really hard to dodge those, so usually it's better to block them. To block him with a palisade or a tree, but you can bait here the melee attack. You see the sickle, boink, I get hit by it, but because I'm wearing a tier 2, tier 3 plate now, there's not a problem. Both the sickle attack she does, they're okay. If you take too much step forward too much, she's gonna throw a bomb at you when the cooldown is off, so be careful with those. Do not die to those. And this is showing you the how to do the witch really fast. So we're gonna do the good old triangle. Sometimes you see that Spet and Borgy are more experienced than me, and they're using overheads. That's to decrease the chance that we're gonna hit a friendly on the side. So we use this, keeps the same triangle. We each go for more angles. The overheads really prevent you from hitting your mates. Spet is dancing it right and left, the normal witch attacks, and we just go in. And by doing this, you basically have an easy witch on your hands. It's gonna take you, with if you know what you're doing, 20-30 seconds, and witches are pretty much clear. So next we're gonna be looking at the Knool Rangers. So Knool Rangers have a bow and a one-handed axe. Both of them hurt a lot, and they have the same mechanics as the witch. So if you are outside of melee range, he's going to be shooting at you, and if you're inside melee range, he's going to be swinging at you. So you see Spet here, he blocked him with line of sight to the tree, pulled him to the tree, and then he went to melee. So these Knools, they take more damage from blunt, so you want to be using a sledge, hammer, or a maul. So what you do is basically like the witch. You wait 1-2 seconds, 1, 2, and you weave out, and you go in and keep smacking him once every time. Don't try to grid it out. It's tricky to do that, and sometimes it will result in your death. Warning issued. If you're far away enough, you can strafe right and left, but if you're doing 5 squares, 10 squares of the Knool Archer, it's like a laser guided attack, so be sure. Wait out his attacks, use a tree, use a palisade to line of sight him. He's gonna get closer and closer, and then you go in. If you have a mate tanking or the attacks, let's say, you can do that. See, he switched to me as soon as I got 2 hits in him. So now I'm gonna weave in and out, so out, and then in. At some point, if I just wait outside too much, he's gonna shoot me, like now. So I used to have a little cover, line of sight him, bring him close to me so he's not freely shooting at me. You cannot do the same thing as the witch and just wait on his attack, because these attacks hurt a lot more, these arrows. We aggro and Knool in the meantime. Borg is gonna take care of it. I'm gonna stay with the ranger, so back to I got him close enough to me, so now I'm just gonna keep baiting his melee attacks and gonna go whack him. Chieftain Sword can also be used for these guys, but Sledgehammer and Maul are definitely a little bit faster. You can also use stones, so don't forget that old trick with the Uzi, but to do that you cannot aggro them. You have to do them where they spot that they spawn in, and just basically use them down with stones. Remember that trick we taught you in the previous videos of the Knool Camp clearing. In this time I was recording some of the right-hand side stuff inside the Knool Camp, just the ones that I showed in the beginning, and I realized that our mate Spet and Sir Borgy, they basically just aggroed like an entire room. You can do this if it's a bit more chaotic and a little bit more tricky. We have 2 rangers, a witch, and 2 Knools. It's fast if you know what you're doing and if you have the damage types to pull it off. If you're in a big party, you can do that. Some damage is gonna, be unavoidable, but you also clear stuff a lot faster. So 1 Knool is down, Borg is handling 1 on the left, still aggroing the ranger, so he's just in the witch, so he's gonna be handling those. Sir Spet fighting another ranger side. I changed to the blunt weapon, in this case the sledgehammer, just to go sort that ranger out. It's gonna make it faster, and it's gonna switch aggro potentially to me at any point, so be careful with the aggro. If you're doing these big pulls, you have to be extra careful of the aggro, because they can switch at any time, and all of them can switch to you. We didn't let them reset, so this is kind of a YOLO kind of move. We could have let some reset, do the moves first, but we just wanted to show you how to do a full Knool Camp at full clearing speed. So the witch has been free tagging me there for a while, and I took a little bit of damage, but I'm gonna let the other 2 mates handle it. Let's dive into the bears. So the Knool Bears, they do have a gigantic Knool Bear axe. They also use their red hands. They have a weakness to blunt type of damage, so again, that sledgehammer and that maul is going to come in handy. To bait some of the bears out without having to go into the rooms and clearing some other small stuff, you can use this spot that Sir Spet used. This, depending on different spots, you can bring one bear, two bears, chieftains. We're going to see that whenever we get the chieftain section. But with the bears, you really have to be careful about their axe and their uppercut. So the Knool bears. We'll have 4 types of attacks. We're going to go show you each of them individually as we go through. You basically want to avoid all of the types of attacks. The bear doesn't do as much damage as the chieftain, but with one attack it might do 100 damage, so you're going to be wanting to avoid all of them. So this is the left uppercut he's doing. On my right hand side you can see Sir Spet doing it. Right now that's the overhead. Here he does the charge, so he does a hoo, 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 and then he starts charging at you. Just run away, and when he finishes you go in for a hit. So he finishes that charge attack and you go in for 1 to hit. Back to the overhead. So you basically want to step out of the bear. We're going to show you first person as well, but you want to step out of that attack and dodge all of these types of attacks, both the overhead, both the uppercut. You just have to weave in and out. A little bit different than the rangers and the witches, because that axe, wherever you see that axe going, both from the backside and the overhead part and like where it lands on the ground, all of that is considered part of the axe, so we're going to be taking some damage. If you have 2 mates and the bear stays on the same spot, you can basically come attack from the back, but be careful, because for example this overhead attack also attacks the gentleman at the back, so you have to be stepping away even if you're not aggro on him, because all of these attacks, hitboxes, they will mess you up even if you're not the main target of it. So weave in and out of the attacks even if you are from the back, and if you have 2 mates doing it, you can do it, but be careful not to hit each other. Again, it's the same rules as the witches and the rangers or the moles. If you have, if you attack any of the Knools, they might come at you, and these bear attacks you have to be ready to run if he decides to start an overhead and rotate to you, or the charge one does a lot of damage, you really want to avoid it, but you also have time to run away because it starts charging it up. So this was me learning the spots on this Knool camp to bring the bears out, so I'm gonna put my sledgehammer, come to the spot to bait the bear. So in this case you check the indentations, and with time, if you have one person doing it, you have to run to the entrance real fast, but because you have multiple people, I basically just standing here, the bear will come out and they will attack him and get the aggro there, or just be in the area, so you run straight, and here is the bear. So we're going to be doing this in first person this time around. He's doing the charge right now, so I just stay a little bit away. He's going to do the uppercut of the charge. That one can kill him instantaneously, so be careful with that. Borg is here doing some damage to him already. He switched to Borgy. There it goes, the overhead. This overhead attack will smack you every time. With the chieftains, there is opportunities to get within 2 and 3 attacks inside. With the bear, there is not. So, you know, just be careful that you're dodging all of them and giving 1 swing in, and not 2 swings, because you know that can lead to your death really fast. All of these attacks do a lot of damage as well. The chieftain might do a little bit more, but I mean, we're talking about dying with most of these attacks, so you really want to be staying out of those. Maybe this uppercut is one of the ones, like if you get the second swing of the uppercut, it's not that bad, but like all of the dual bear axe attacks are really powerful. This is the one that drops the Knool Bear Axe, to be fair. This is one of the weapons you can use to clear some of the other Knools, because they don't sell high. The Chieftain Swords, for example, if they're good quality, people will want to buy that from you, but nobody really likes the Knool Bear Axes, except Bombarda, it seems. But you can recycle them into the Knool camp by using them axes if you're good with them. They have a weird hitbox, but with time you can possibly learn it. There goes our berries down. In this case, you want to be, if you pull more stuff with the bear from the inside, especially if you're solo, you want to get out of the area. So, for example, here he was getting chased by other stuff, a Knool Witch or a ranger that is. And if you pull out far enough, the bear will stick with you, but those range stuff, because you're not in aggro range anymore, they'll just reset and go back in. So be sure to do that. If you have multiple people, you can have one mate handling the ranger or the witch, and the other 2 mates do the bear, for example. In this case, we resetted it, so the other Knool went in, and we just focus on the bear. So depending on where you are, so for example, Borky here started running really outside of the Knool camp area. Sometimes the mobs will reset even if there is within aggro range, so this bear is aggro on Borgy. If he goes too far out, the bear will just basically spawn, like disappear and spawn pyro basically instantaneously. You cannot do anything against it. So keep him in this area, figure out where those areas out for each Knool camp. In our Knool camp this was impossible, so this is kind of cool to see the bears interact and have AoE aggro areas kind of differently set up. This bear here was one of the other ones we did. We spent like 3-4 hours here with Sir Spet. Then we got a lot of footages from different bears. I took some of them down. So this is one of the ones that see here that almost hit me from the back. You really have to be careful even if you're in a good distance from them. There is a particular Knool bear that we. One particular Knool bear that we managed to get out of this area. So Spet didn't know about it. He was a bit surprised that what was even happening, because whenever he was getting out, imagine you're a bit low HP or need to reset, he would come out. One of the times that I did die inside the instance, I realized that Borg had managed to pull a bear straight into the trade post and the base. You can see here Saltbringers have been read with UnderAchievers for a while. This was recorded back when we were still UnderAchievers. But yeah, I managed to bring a bear to the door, and we're just messing around finally with a bear that we couldn't get out. Like we managed to do this one more time, but it's not that easy to bring the bear here. Like it has to basically keep stacking aggro on you and somehow and will follow you out. So you see here, Spet is just baiting his attack, but going out is not even doing damage, and Borg is hitting him from the door. From some of the previous things that we kind of played around with, it's like any kind of animal or Knool interaction. If you have a gate system that you go in and out to, you can basically lose aggro every single time you get it in and out of it. That's what Borg was trying to figure out here. Some of the Knool camps that we know from other mates, they basically just stand in the door and like use a long pike with a Knool bear running outside. So here we're going to be playing with the door a bit. So we're trying to find if the bear would glitch in certain spots. So standing in the exact spot of the door sometimes works. Here it keeps attacking, so we're trying to figure that out. Do use these buildings to your advantage. So like it's like any other animal in the game or any other Knool. They interact differently with doors. We're trying to see if this bear would just stay there in auto attack mode, like we did with the Knools in the UnderAchievers Knool Camp. You know, like when you stand in the exact same spot, you can handle the Knools in a little bit different way. So for example, if the Knool comes next to your base or close to your base, use the door as the point that you lose aggro. You have a mate, even without gear, just running in and out, and the other mate is attacking from the back, and you can be sure that it's never going to pass the door, you know, in a sense, even with the special charge attack, but you have to be careful, pay special attention to those. So next on the list, we're going to be looking at the Knool Chieftain. That's the last type of Knools we're going to be fighting. They're also one of the highest with regards to the price of the stuff that they sell to the crown. The Chieftain has basically two phases. He has the walking phase, the running phase, and then he has the little charge that he does. So we're gonna show you all of them. He uses the Chieftain sword, which he also drops. This Chieftain sword is a little bit tricky. It can sometimes one hit you depending on what type of attacks he's doing. So with the Chieftain now, he does the charge here. So you can see that he charges up for a bit. He starts doing the and then he comes at you. Take like 10-15 steps. You really want to dodge that one. Here he does the overhead attack, and the overhead attack allows you to go for 2 swings in. You see there, he does the attack again. It's like the witches, there is no patterns. It's not like you can calculate like does one of each attack and then you can play accordingly. You have to bait all of the attacks, weave in and out, and basically go for it. The types of damage that the Chieftain takes is weak to is piercing and chopping, and with the piercing and chopping type of damage, you basically want to be using the products mostly on the head, and especially with the overhead. So overhead also increases the chance that you're going to be doing headshot damage, so it's going to multiply a little bit more than if you hit them on the arms or the legs. To get those consistently, you can put those in a keybind. I use my mouse button 5 for those. Some people prefer the keyboards, but definitely check it out, and don't forget to use alternative direction in the settings. So the Chieftain right now, he already changed to running phase, as you can see. So in the beginning he was walking after me, now he started to run. Sometimes in the beginning, already when you get the aggro, he starts to run as well. Now he went back to walking. So you just want to weave in and out of the attacks. Some of the attacks he does, you have a strike window enough to do 2 swings, 2 overhead swings. Be sure never to be out of stamina. Here I'm balancing my stamina right. I'm not used to doing them, this Chieftain, in this kind of open space. Basically, for example, in the UnderAchievers Knool Camp, we basically had tiny corridors we had to do it. That's why we usually try to use those glitch spots that we show you in the previous videos. But in this case, doing up in wide, you have a lot of space to dance, you have a lot of space to roam. If you're doing it more mates, it's kind of useful to just keep the Chieftain chieftain in the same spot so the mates can attack them from the back. Don't forget, like the other Knools, if you get any attack and the chieftain can switch to you, and here Sir Borgy was helping me smack the chieftain a bit just to speed it up, since we got most of the what we wanted for the attack types, and basically any hit, again, sorry to iterate, but this is really important, that you give on a chieftain, you basically can switch to you like any other type of Knool. These attacks are like the bear, so if you are in the attack range whenever he does this kind of swings, and if you're in there, you're going to get hit. Later on in the video, I'm going to show you get a little bit tagged by this left to right attack, and I was bugging the other side of the chieftain. This uppercut you really want to avoid. Borgy here was getting out of the zone as well, so you have to come back in a little bit because that will make the chieftain disappear. Sir Spet here was just observing, but if you have multiple people, you can weave into the attacks. So for example here, I get 2 hits in, Mr. Borg as well, so basically we're doing 4 times the damage because then just rather one swing, so you can grid a bit with the attacks. If you have multiple people doing it, don't hit each other, and be sure to keep a safe distance. This is the charging attack, you can see, and then the left uppercut with the Wolverine hands. That hurts a little bit. Don't recommend getting hit by it, but sure you'll learn how to avoid those after watching this video. We're gonna speed up the chieftain a bit. The chieftain has a lot of HP, even compared to a bear, so I recommend you know, just stay focused, stay in the zone, be careful to aggro switches, and just, you know, hammering him down. If you try to use baits or coordinate swings, be careful that you're not getting hit. That's just the most important thing. If you're in the zone, like, just keep focusing it. Run away from the chieftain. There's that here I got hit on the face or the chest. That kind of hurt, because you can see like 90-80% of my HP is gone, and that's not even the overhead. The overhead pretty much destroys you. I'm naked, but even if you're wearing tier 1 or tier 2 Zerker gear, it's not gonna attenuate, not even close to enough damage. I'm gonna let Borgy here handle the end of that one. The chieftain is almost done, and we're gonna go for a little sail trip with regards to the chieftain. He drops the helms, the helmets, and the knee pads, and those are really valuable if they are good quality. They sell for a lot. Sometimes one gold and a half to 2.5 gold. I got one sold since Arden for 2.5, but besides that they sell for like 70 silver, something like that, with most qualities. This is a bag after one run. Borgy and Spet had got some stuff from the bears and the chieftains at that point. Like, I got a lot of witches stuff there, I got some ranger stuff, some mules, some bear Wolverine hands. Those sell for a bit, but this is like 1.5 gold tops, so you have to regularly kill chieftains and bears, especially to do them. Here I was basically learning from Sir Spet, like, what are the spots that they use outside the Knool camp to bring the Knools out, and to kind of do this in a consistent way. You have to learn your Knool camps. In our Knool camp we couldn't do this. Basically they didn't pop out of Knool camp ever. So if you have Knool camps that they're specific, they have these specific annotations, try to use them and probe them out. So right now I'm waiting for the chieftain to come out. According to steps indications, we basically wait 21 footsteps that thump on the floor. Then we come to the second spot here. So this is closer to the end, so we're going around the Knool camp, and the chieftain is still aggroed on me even though he's inside. You can see that the bear burrowed there, but the chieftain keeps on coming. And we aggroed another bear by doing this, so basically we run straight to the entrance. If you have multiple people, that's easy to handle. If you can only handle one at a time, be careful to do that. So up here I want to show you something else, which is that you can see the spawns. So they are spawned but not aggro to you. If you stand up here in the wheel, you can shoot them down. So if you have a couple of pew-pews, you can come here and like have 20 minutes, like just clear all of the Knools there, and then you do a big push in with a couple of mates and you go get the bags. So Spet here is doing the running around I was showing from above the bear and the chieftain getting pulled. Just so you see what's happening inside the Knool camp. Sir Spet here is walking to the second position right now, and he still has the aggro. So at this point, I believe Sir Borg is at the door of the Knool camp, over here in the right, and he's already getting the aggro. Because we got multiple of them out, we just split them into for different people. So you can see the bear is coming here, and the chieftain should be coming right after. So this bear that is coming here, Sir Spet is dancing with him a bit. The chieftain should also be popping out in a second. So be careful with the damage types. So for example, don't forget the bears use the mauls or the sledgehammers. So if you have those weapons out, handle the bear. The other mates, you need the broadaxe for the chieftains. So split them up if you can. We could have reset it. So if we wanted just to do a chieftain or a bear, we could do it in different ways. So you can see the chieftain is still aggro on Spet when he went to do the indentations of the wall. Basically still in walking phase, but because Borg was hitting it with the broadaxe, he basically got the aggro. Here I got the left uppercut, which only did like 20 damage, but maybe I was just outside range. So here, just a recap on the bear, you in and out, you just switch between you and Spet, like after 3 or 4 attacks, so careful with that. Do as much damage as you can when he's swinging at the other mates to make it just a faster clear. Borg right now is just holding the chieftain, already started doing some damage on him, and we're gonna have this bear sorted out, and we're gonna go help Sir Borgi sort that out. The bear does much faster than the chieftain. There is 2 people doing it, but the amount of HP is insane. Plus 1000 on the chieftain. On the bear is around 600 to 800. We're not sure if they have like specific qualities or something like that. It seems that their HP is pretty much the same. The quality of the loot that you get from them seems completely random, regardless of it's a wild bear or a bear in a Knool camp. Nowadays in Arden there is a bit of changes with the ways they drop the new Knool gear, so the stuff you need to make the 80 and 100 quality weapons and armors, they do seem to have been reworked. So if you pull the chieftain, so this is a different chieftain than we did, there is also a way that if you glitch in one of those wall spots, so that Spet is showing Borgi, basically the chieftain gets locked into running or walking mode, and as you can see here, Borgi is like learning. If he takes a step to the left, the chieftain runs on him. If he takes a step to the right, he locks the chieftain in place. So these glitches are a bit different than the ones in Knool Camp, but they're pretty much the same. So if you lock him in that stance, you can have people hitting him. Again, careful with the aggro switching. This point, what we're trying to do damage-wise was to basically do a overhead attack. So what Spet was instructing Borgi to do here is pull his weapon and do the overhead and adjust the chieftain so he's taking the maximum amount of damage while stuck in running phase. This is much easier with walking phase. So if he's walking phase, like is a little bit less dangerous because he adjusts his speed and swings a little bit differently. So here we're just basically all of us hitting the chieftain overheads. Be sure not to damage anybody around us. This is one of the fastest ways to do it, but to figure out these spots that you can glitch chieftains at, sometimes it takes a lot of knowledge and a lot of practice doing it. If you take a misstep, as you can see in some of the future attempts that I try to do it on first POV, that's not going to go as smooth as expected. But yeah, this is a really fast way to do chieftain and get your payday. Just be sure to heal each other between the different Knool runs. Be sure that your mates are always full HP and all that good stuff. Be sure to avoid the switches of aggro, and that you know what you're pulling. That is going to be definitely helpful. So here we were just showing the heal on the side. You can grab the aggro from the Knools inside and just pull them out. I wanted to be clear that this Knool camp, I've not spotted it yet in Arden, but there's like Knool camps all over the map. Some of them in copy places, some of them maybe changed a bit. They have a lot less stances inside them. I've not made a Knool camp video yet on Arden because the Knool camps seem a little bit underwhelming. Some of the Knool camps don't have chieftains and stuff like that. We already put some petitions with our good Sir Bogo and our good Sofapek King from the dev team to be sure that those Knool camps are a bit more worth it. But we've been fighting a lot in Knool City. As you know, that's a central Knool camp designed by good Sir Bogo. Hashtag Bogo is awesome. And that Knool City, basically, video is already recorded and all that stuff. I need to edit it a bit and show you how to maximize your gold gains there, because you can basically go straight in, focus on doing chieftains non-stop and just getting out. With these Knool camps, you do have to use these spots. So the spots that I'm bringing out right now, I'm trying to bring one of the bears out. Sir Spet is waiting at the entrance to get the aggro, but I could run there fast if I knew what I was doing. The chieftain in this time didn't come out because I think we had done the chieftain without having given it time to respawn. So basically, we only got the bear that had been killed earlier. this stuff still happens in the Arden's Knool camps, but because there's a lot less mob density, you basically will have to learn how to pull Knools in a different way. Maybe it's a bit easier just to go in, pull them out straight, just because of the less density of Knools in there. Really special thanks to our good Sir Spet again that has battled us along through this journey. In this particular part of the video, we're going to see the left-hand side just so we have an idea on the layout and everything on the left-hand side of the Knool camp, because we have not done that yet. A couple of moles came out. We had cleared most of the bears and stuff, but that was kind of easy. Just to give you an idea of overall idea of what is over here. This is much longer than the UnderAchievers Knool camp. You run a lot more inside. Again, if this Knool camp does exist right now in Arden, probably it's a lot more density, so you have to learn these spots and where to glitch stuff inside here, where to pull stuff. We still noticed that one of the rangers were still alive at the back. Let me just fast equip my sledgehammer. Don't forget you can use the shortcuts to equip and unequip stuff. You can equip both at the same time. You can have one in 3 and one in 4, but I always do it with only one, just because having a weapon on you will weigh you down, especially if the weapon is not needed. While fighting different types of stuff, but if you're doing like that chaotic type of Knool clearing, definitely recommend having both ready to go. While we're clearing this, we're recording this video and clearing this Knool ranger, part of the camp did decide to spawn on us, and there is this particular moment that our good Sir Spet got knocked down by one of the handle hits from the Knool mole. Yeah, that one.
Hit him with the coup de grace. Hit him with the coup de grace.
No, enslave, man, enslave.
Oh fuck! I forgot you actually could.
I'm sorry to Sir Spet, I promised to edit all the audio out, but I decided to keep this one in just for fun. I much appreciate him guiding us around the Knool camp. It's also another lesson, and a take-home message of like, if you're doing Knool camps inside the Knool camps rather than pulling stuff out, you can have stuff spawning right on top of you, depending on the timers, if it's a full camp reset or if it's just a part of the Knool camp resetting. Here, the last ranger decided to shoot at us. Borg is there praying to the god of Knools, and well, a small blooper, which is also another take-home message, which is if you're using these glitch spots, sometimes you have no way out. So I was trying that Chieftain Knool spot a little bit earlier, already late into the night, after 3 hours of recording stuff or more, and I was trying to use that glitch spot and do the overhead attack like we could see in third person earlier, but I couldn't get the Knool, even though he was in walking phase close to me. The problem that happens with some of these glitch spots is that if you take a step too farther in and he has the weapon out, you're gonna get whacked. I was in full tier 2 plate there, and I still got smashed to bits. But yeah, the glitch spots are helpful. Sometimes they're your death. It's easier to just dance them around. I believe that that would be a message that Spet and Borgi would also recommend. So yeah, do stay safe and be sure that you're clearing those Knools as safely as efficient as you can. Otherwise, you'll have to go through the walk of shame, like me right now. That's pretty much it. I think for our Saltbringers Knool camp, we're gonna be just focusing on a couple of things. Careful with the aggro switches, heal your mates, check the attack windows for each type of Knool. When can you go in? When can you go out? Use the line of sight for pulling some of the stuff out, especially the rangers and the witches because of the ranged attacks. And yeah, be careful to avoid, damaging your mates around you. So if you're doing 2-3 mates, be sure to have some sort of triangle that they're not hitting each other. You're not in somebody's back running from the chieftain or the bear. You're not standing behind them where you need to go out. Otherwise, both of you might end up dead. If you're doing big pulls like we showed some earlier, be sure to take care of the different mobs smartly. If you have the aggro on the witches or the rangers, be sure to use the terrain to help you out. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, if you enjoyed watching us smack some Knools and whatnot, and you learned something from today, please do smash that like button and press subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell to not miss our future Arden videos. This is potentially our last video from Goodland. Thank you to all the mates that help make Goodland what it was, from Beatbox to LTG to all of the guildies, friends and enemies around the the map. It was really awesome. And let's see. Arden is coming out with a couple of proms, a couple of bugs, but it has a lot of potential. The map is much smaller. It's really fun. Some of the Knool camps are pretty much the same. That's why this video is still up to date with most of the stuff. The layout itself of the Knool camp is going to be something we're going to be looking for in those random Knool camps. Hopefully, especially after they improve the quality of the loot there and the quality of the Knools inside of those. But this strategy also applies for Knools in the wild. So if you are looking for other those tips, we hope to have been useful. Besides that, just have a good day, night, or afternoon, and see you next time. X out.